push, and we have one more to go, which is boom, boom, chicka boom, boom. All right, welcome, wherever you are in this moment. Thank you for joining us for our Sundays Spirituality Meets Politics. I am in the middle of a move, so excuse me when my not my normal jam. But welcome. If this is your first time with us, we meet here. Hello, every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific, so the time you're joining us now, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And with that, we go live until we go into our private conversation. And once we do a private conversation, we go off live. So if you'd like to join us in Zoom, you can. Our Zoom number is 831-755-38434. And because of the modern day, you don't say the right thing, they shut you out. We go private for that reason. So we can talk freely and openly amongst each other. And this is a time to ask questions and get involved. And for those of you that don't know, my mom is Dr. Heather Harder. She's an author, professor, business extraordinaire, and also ran for politics. And so, hello, Claudia. So she actually ran for president back in 96 and 2000, and that was the beginning of the political journey and realization now more than ever, we need spiritual people in the world of politics. We have so much gone away, but it literally affects every aspect of your life, from the food you eat to the water you drink to the air you breathe. So now is more important than any time to be able to get involved and do our job. Speak our truth, be in alignment. With that being said, I'm going to pop out. Hello, welcome y'all. And I'm going to say, Heather, take it over. This is my mother.
Okay. And if you're writing comments or questions for Stacy, she won't be there to answer them until she comes back. Okay. I'm good to go now, Stacy?
Yep. I'm just going to take the exit enter jam off. Okay, perfect.
And welcome to our Sunday night conversation. It is May 9th, 2021. And the world is certainly turning and churning. And so this is an opportunity to come together, discuss what's going on, what's being touted about. And if you're feeling any anxiety reactions, whatever, it's a chance to talk about it and voice it in a safe world without manifesting it. That's the important thing. We don't want to create any additional challenges in the planet when there are already way too many. As Stacy said, my name is Heather Harder, and I am here to facilitate. If we have a lot of conversation, we last longer. If we don't have much conversation, we end earlier. It really is about meeting your needs and addressing spirit, because spirit was the one that asked me to do that. And oftentimes in these calls, we have people from 4 or 5 different countries on the airwaves. So our ripple is going out worldwide, even though we don't have a huge number attending. Because this is Mother's Day, we want to send a special shout out to our beloved Earth Mother. And we will come back to that in a second. If you're new, we have 3 parts to the experience tonight. The first is calling in our intention, what you want, and we do that any way you want, but it's really important to be mindful that you want to ask for protection, guidance, and truth. We are being bombarded with all kinds of misinformation, some well-intended, some not so well-intended, and when you ask to know truth, it literally allows you to recognize and assimilate that which serves you and then repel, neutralize that which doesn't. I sort of see it like a screen door on your doorway, so it keeps the mosquitoes and the irritations out. It still lets the air and the good stuff in, but it doesn't let all the little pesky things in. And that's what calling for truth allows you to do. And it's really important that you do that every day. Every day is a new day by design. You bring nothing into the new day except what you intend or what you think about or talk about. You bring those memories, those experiences forward. That every day is a chance to start over again. And with that, we ask for protection. so that nothing affects us except that what serves us, and then guidance so that we can be clear about the path we're on, even though it's a very zigzag, convoluted path. It is intentional, and we're all walking this very sort of a yellow brick road kind of experience where we don't know where we're going, but we know where we want to go. And then we follow that little unusual path. So protection, guidance, truth, any way you want, just declare it, ask for it, allow it. And that's the first part. And the second part is we play with the light. As light workers, which we all are, we're here to use that energy, use that force, and become comfortable using it for our intentions. We came to this planet to sort of do a rescue mission, to help save the planet. We do that through the energy, not through our fighting, not through being a warrior, not through being anything except a beacon of light. Light, love, God are an energy force, and that energy is the highest vibration in all the universe. So when you carry that energy, you're literally neutralizing everything that is a lesser energy. And that's really what we're doing. We don't have to hate the enemy. We don't have to fight the enemy. We don't have to have protests. We don't have to do anything except just be the beacon of love. And love is our natural state. And every time we play with this energy, our vibration is raised, accelerated, lifted, and we then send that out. And everything that is impacted by our energy is also impacted. And that's the way we save the planet, just by being our best, most natural self. Everything else is just a cherry on top of the sundae kind of thing. The more you can be in that energy, the better you are. And so we play with the energy. We use it intentionally. I've been given some exercises that serve the planet, so we do that. And then you can do it, any additions, alterations that you want. And the most important thing is pay attention to how you feel now, and then pay attention to when we're finished, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes later, and feel how you feel, because that post feeling is that feeling that you carry in that exalted energy. And every time you take your energy to an extreme, you're pushing boundaries, and you are able to go higher and higher and higher with it until you are literally one with the divine, which is our natural state. We're altering the planet from a third dimension, helping zoom it up to a fifth dimension. Fifth dimension is a oneness with all creation. And when you move into that exalted energy, that's what you're doing. You're recognizing your connection with everything, with all that is. We're all one. And so it doesn't do any good to hate some part of the people on the planet. It's like hating your thumb. It's just silly, because they're all part of this game that we're about. Our job is just to love them unconditionally. Love, light, God, all carry the same vibration. So with that, I'm going to mute you, Anna, and then we're going to just go do our little exercise and enjoy it. It's not about serious, somber. It's about being in that vibratory field. So with that, I ask you to go to your center. Your center is an imaginary place where you are connected to all things. I personally like beaches, so my center looks like a beach, but I've had people who had it look like their living room or their kitchen or nothing at all. It is not the visual you attach to your center. As soon as you set the intention to go to center, you are going to that place where you're connected with all things, where you are the most able to receive and send that energy from into the universe. So go to center and just take a breath. You may feel a little, sort of click in like a tumbler lock. And if you feel nothing, that's okay too. And in that center, I want you to imagine, and remember, your imagination is the most powerful force you have. It is the creator force. It is the great gift from the divine that allows you to co-create your world. Imagine that pillar of light in your center and step into that light. And as you step into it, you may feel a tingle in your cellular body. You're affecting your physical, your mental, your spiritual body. Light is all powerful. And as you step into that light, just imagine allowing the light from the heaven to come down to you and through you, physically, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, etherically, and then down into the earth. You are here as an ambassador of the divine, an anchor for the heavenly energies into the earth. And when you put yourself in this imaginary tube or pillar of light, you are most open to receive and send this energy. There's no wrong way to do it. This is just a little bit more fun. And just take a deep breath and let that energy flow to you and through you. And as it does, it centers and balances every cell in your body. Willingly wash away any limitations, anything that keeps you from being your highest and best self. Any beliefs, any thoughts, any old emotional wounds, just let this energy flow through you, healing, balancing, restoring, rejuvenating. Take a deep breath with this energy. And then just imagine as you turn up the volume of this energy and become just a light. Your physical body is a choice and a creation. Your mental body is a choice and a creation. You have a mind, you are not your mind. You have a body, you are not your body. And in this state, we're going to just play with our pure spiritual energy. And we're going to send this energy into the earth. Especially today, we're going to love our dear Mother Earth. She gives us life and she gives us purpose. Without her essence, we would not have a body. The body is her great gift. So we're just going to send this energy into the earth, filling every cell in, on, and around her with love. Filling every nook and cranny and opening and tunnel and cave. Every place on this planet. When I was in Turkey, we went down 5 to 6 stories of the caves and tunnels and villages that were in the earth. And that's just the ones we know about. There's many, many more. So we're just going to fill the earth with our love and anyone and everything that's in this earth with love. And then we're going to amplify that love, magnify that love, ask everyone who is of like mind in every level of existence to join us in sending love out into the atmosphere. The atmosphere is to the earth as our skin is to our body. It's a very important healing aspect. It protects and keeps the earth healthy and strong. And our job is just to love it. So just imagine your love going out into the atmosphere, spreading new layers of protection around the planet. And then imagine all the weather patterns around the earth. Weather patterns are how the earth finds her balance, and our job is to love them, even if we don't always enjoy them. The stronger the weather patterns, the more earth needs a healing, and our love can do that too. So just love the weather, love the earth. And on this planet, there are a lot of beings who do not want to see the earth transition to fifth dimension. They like being in control. They like having the power. They like having the money. And so they're doing everything they can to keep the earth from changing, from evolving. So they're manipulating the weather, and they're manipulating the atmosphere, and they're manipulating the earth. And for various reasons, doesn't matter. Our job is to love those people, love those beings. They're playing a fruitless game because divine plan always wins out. So we just love them. And then we send love and light to the mass consciousness on the planet. And it may look like anything that you choose it to look. I like to think there's a fog. You know, when we're in a fog, we can see the fog, we can experience the fog, but we can't really touch the fog. It sort of permeates everything. And our mass consciousness, our collective consciousness, is that kind of mist. It connects us all together. We're all one in this mass consciousness. We influence it individually and collectively, and it influences us. And as we put more love and light into the mass consciousness, the more we recognize our oneness. We just love it. And then on this planet, there are a lot of influencers, a lot of people who are in elected positions, appointed positions, self-chosen positions. They influence others, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, sometimes with love in their heart, sometimes with malice in their heart. Right now, we want to send love and light to all the influences on the planet, whether they be political influences or social media influencers or professional business organization influencers, medical influencers. We just want to love them all. Just love them all. See, like a spider web of love going out and wrapping itself around everyone and anyone who influences another. Everything is of the divine. Some let their divinity shine brighter. We call those the lights. And some kind of dim their light and work out of greed and malice and other intentions. And those are the lesser lights. But everything is of light. And the more we send love and light to them, the more we ignite their light. And on this planet, there certainly are a lot of humanity, but there's also a lot of other species that are having a play day on Earth. We want to love them too. These are our cosmic cousins, part of our divine family, and our job is just to love them. And each of you have a myriad of supporters, of helpers, of guides, of teammates that operate at lots and lots of levels and are available at your beck and call 24/7. Today, above all other days, it's a day to celebrate this other family. So love them, send your appreciation out to them. Thank them for standing ready to assist you. All you have to do is ask. I shouldn't say that. All you have to do is ask, believe, trust, be open to receive. So many people ask, but then they don't allow. They don't surrender to the process. And as we acknowledge our human family, it's wonderful to acknowledge our spiritual family as well. They're well chosen. They're there because they respect, love you. They're all in your corners for success. What you need is there for the asking. But so many of humanity have been trained that we don't ask for things. It's impolite to ask for things. That we have to accept our humanity. Well, after all, you're only human. This is a day to honor the part of you that is divine, that's bigger than life, that can do and achieve more than you can dare imagine. Jesus said, these things I do, you can do these and greater still. He really meant it. And when you believe it, you will. So we just love them, all of our family. And we're going to give permission to the angels to use this energy in any way that serves the planet. We don't always know what the earth needs, but we're always willing to help. And we help most when we just send love. On the days and experiences that you're feeling the lower side of humanity, when you're feeling your anger or upset or your emotions or your lacking of self-confidence, those are the days that we need to call on this energy. Then the days that we feel good, we need to share it loudly. Eventually, you won't have those needy days. And then most important, whatever you send out, whether it's happy thoughts or angry thoughts or loving thoughts or judgmental thoughts, it always will come back to you. It's the law of the land. What you send out, you must experience. You must reap what you sow. So as we've been sending out this love and light, just open your heart, open your mind, open your body to receive this energy. Let it come back to you, permeating every cell on your body, healing, restoring, rejuvenating every atom, restoring your DNA to its original state of divine perfection. Just let our body remember who and what you are. So allow it to come back. Take a deep breath. Anchor this energy. We're just going to hold the space for just a little bit and ask that you get your own Mother's Day message from your Earth Mother or from other members of your spiritual family. Just be open to receive. If you want more love in your life, send more love out. If you want more peace in your life, send more peaceful thoughts out. What you send to other people is what you get back. And we remain open to our messages, to our thoughts, to our divine connections. So that anytime and anywhere there's a message that comes to us, we are wise enough to receive it, decipher it, to remember it, to live it. In all things, we are grateful. So be it. So just take a deep breath and anchor that energy. And pay attention to how you feel. Just feel it. And if you can isolate how you feel, whenever you stop to think about how you feel, you will recreate it. When you remember something, you are literally putting it together again. So recreate, remember. That's the way you bring that energy back into your consciousness at will. We don't have to wait for the right circumstances. We just have to have the intention and remember. And with that, this is when I usually ask Stacy if there are any questions or comments from our many connections. So we'll let Stacy have a second to catch up. I'm not hearing you, Stacy, so I don't know if you've got a microphone on or not.
I do. I was just saying hello. We got Juan Carlos from Mexico, and Jake says more light, more love, more grace, more gratitude.
Yeah, I've said this before, but it's really a profound experience. I was asked to go to Bali and do workshops. So I was in Bali for 2 weeks. And so during my time there, I went to some plays and went to some dramas and various things. And it was amazing because they have these beautiful dancers with pointy fingers, and ballet is like no place else on the planet. But in their dramas, in their musicals, there's the good and the evil, and they fight each other. But in the end, one doesn't conquer, one doesn't dominate the other. They learn how to live together in peace. And I think that's such a wonderful model, that we're not going for annihilating the bad guys like they do in the old cowboy movies. We're going to learn how to live in harmony and recognize that free will is the law of the planet, and we must allow free will as does everyone else. And that as we, again, submit ourselves to divine will, we empower the divine will on the planet. We lost Stacy, so I'm not sure what that meant, but anybody online that wants to say anything, make sure you unmute yourself first, and then if you have something that you want to say or add, then feel free.
Can I ask something? I've asked this before in spiritual forums, but I haven't really got an answer. And I wanted to know your opinion, because what you're saying I really do resonate with. But during the pandemic, from the beginning till now, I've had the most vivid, profound dreams, like really, really different types of intense dreams, like almost prophetic dreams. And I've never had dreams like this before. I've had before, but so intense. Is this normal? Or other people experiencing it?
This is life on Earth. There is no normal.
I realized that after I
get rid of the thought of normal. What's happening is that people are being activated, and they're being activated in different ways based on what their position they're going to be asked to do or are being asked to do, because we're not going to serve we don't have a mission that's coming. Our mission is right here and now, being love. Doing these little presentations or writing my books, that's one of my side duties. But above everything, I have to learn how to carry that vibration in a way so that my material, my message always carries that energy. There's a lot of people speaking factual information that I agree with, but they're saying it in an energy that is not integral to the message. So you have to get your energy out there so that your message goes out and it's received as truth, and it transforms the receiver of that information. That's really important because of your mission. And I don't want to do it now because it's a little effort on my part, and I'm feeling lazy after my garage sale day.
Don't worry about it.
But you know, again, if we looked at what's going on, you probably have been having your stair steps of activation. And then as you get into your prophetic dreams, because we get a lot of our training in our dream state because we have the least resistance to it. So as you move into that dream state, you know, we think it's a dream, but it's not a dream. It's practices, it's rehearsals, it's training. I mean, you can wake up in the morning and be tired, and then when you're to bed because you've been doing drills all night. So in that dream state, you are being prepared for whatever is coming next. And I equate it to when you were in elementary school and we had fire drills all the time. You had the fire drills so that when there was a fire, you knew exactly what to do. You didn't think about it. You knew where to move, how to move, what to do. It was second nature. We do the same thing with many of the activations in the planet. because the outcome has not been determined, we may be in plan A, and then we shift to plan B, and then we shift to plan C, and because we're always guiding, acting, reacting to all the things that are going on the planet. I've said on Facebook many, many, many times, and I do it intentionally, that if this pandemic, or they say the plandemic doesn't work, then what will happen is we'll have our alien invasion. That's the next big thing. And we're being prepared for it now because the government is saying, well, yeah, there are aliens. We have these unidentified experiences, and and so they're coming out. So people are being prepared that there are aliens, surprise, and we're getting ready for it. And that if we aren't able to be corralled and inundated with fear because of the pandemic, then we move to the alien invasion. And so we're always being ready for that. And that's sort of what these calls are, to keep people out of fear. Fear is the opposite of the energy we want to carry. It's a very low, very dense energy that allows you to be vulnerable to all kinds of other things. It's like suppressing your energetic immune system and then taking a bath in a bunch of cooties. So love and light makes you immune. It makes you above concerned with contamination. And so, but if I can get you in fear, I can control you. Politics for many years, and literally spent 1 year going to trainings, and they teach you. There are workshops to show you as a candidate how to get people in fear, because if you can get them in fear, you can control them. And all the strategies that I was taught we're living in it around the planet. And if they aren't able to get us in fear, they kill you. It's like, okay,
it's true.
The recess is over, and we go and have some fun and come back again into the body. I've been killed many times for my service, and I just come back immediately. Death is a wonderful experience, so it doesn't bother me.
Interesting.
But does that help?
It helps. I mean, the dreams have been good, but like sometimes I've had dreams where it's like, I don't know who these people are in my dreams, like as if I'm different people, and I don't even, like, it was like really almost violent, like very strange, but like very vivid types of dreams.
Keep a dream journal of the characters or the situations of the people, because it could be that you're bouncing around in consciousness with what is labeled parallel lives. You know, we think of past life, future life, all these things, but they really are all happening simultaneously.
I've heard
and
that, yeah.
I've been shown how it works, but it's there's no words or language to explain it well. But it's just a sort of a separation of consciousness. When you're in this experience, you have one set of consciousness simultaneously. So if you're bouncing back and forth, you're going to have same characters, different costumes, different experiences, but you'll have awarenesses of it. I worked with one young man, 21, 22, who really thought he was losing his mind, but because he was flipping through consciousness, he was flipping through dimensions, he was flipping through awareness, but he did it consciously. So if you can imagine, taking a book and flipping through the pages, but every page is a different life, and you have full knowing of it. He couldn't handle it, so we had to teach him how to stop the process, so he could take control over those flippings. And so it might be something like that, which is why it feels unusual.
Well, just very, very vivid.
Thank you, Josie.
Thanks. Thank you.
But again, trust if it's happening, there's a reason, and it's just about you understanding it and making sense of it. Nothing. If you're asking protection, guidance, and nothing that can happen to you is going to be anything but your teaching experience, learning how to grow and expand. So. And it doesn't feel energetically, when you talk about it, it doesn't feel unpleasant. So
no, it's been
Thursday. I do spirit
A spiritual one.
I do spirit sprinkles, which is just
Oh, spirit
tapping into your
sprinkles.
energy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to do it. It's just because I wake up earlier on Friday. It's hard. I'm going to try to. It's just by that time I become part zombie, you know.
What time zone are you in?
I'm Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. Okay. Well, if it's meant to be, you will. And
Yeah.
if not, then
No, I'll
we'll
definitely want
live
to jump
happily ever
in.
after anyway. Wonderful.
No, I definitely want to jump in. Nice to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Anybody else? And I have been literally, California is the weirdest place in the world. And I've been here many, many times. I've never had anything like it. I've had a headache the entire time I've been here. I never have headaches.
Oh.
The energy is very intense and very unpleasant. My phone keeps bumping into 5G and asking if I want 5G, which I tell it no. But I'm sure California is activating their 5G, and energetically it's very unpleasant. And it's the worst internet connection that you can imagine. 1 week we couldn't get it to work at all, and I keep getting messages saying my internet connection is unstable. And Stacy pays for high-speed internet, and I've traveled the world and never had problems with it. In Egypt and every other third world country, I've never had a problem with it. But in California right now, the internet is awful. And I've talked to several people. It's not just Stacy, it's everybody having these experiences. So I fully believe they're mucking around and experimenting on California. Yay. So, yay. So Alicia, and because of that, though, I have not read anything. I've not heard anything. I don't know anything. I know that Trump has started his campaign money again. So that's a sign that he's, taken the whole process seriously. Anybody heard anything or said anything? Stacy, can you hear me?
He's got
As
a
soon as
new
Stacy gets back,
website.
then we'll go off YouTube.
He's got a new website. It's donaldjtrump.com/desk, where that's his new platform. I think he's changing it all the time. So, but it's funny because on that website, there's places you can share with Facebook and you can share with Twitter. So you could still put all of his stuff on Facebook and Twitter, even though they will not give him his platform back. And last I heard there was a lawsuit filed against that.
Wow. The audacity to tell the president of this country, when he was full president, that he didn't have the right to speak to the people. That's incredible. It just boggles my mind.
And I haven't heard any. They were expecting that Dogecoin to go up really high today because of Elon Musk being on Saturday Night Live last night.
What's a Dogecoin?
It's some kind of like Bitcoin or something. I'm not sure. I don't understand how all that stuff works. Jennifer could explain it next time she's here.
She's with her family tonight and can't be with us.
Yeah, I don't understand how it all works. But they're making a lot of money in it. It's a cryptocurrency of some kind.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so you and I are definitely not making money in it then.
No.
If we don't know how to work it. Okay. And Anna, we have a sort of group messenger service on Facebook Messenger, so that if you send us your email and our friend of Stacy's on Facebook, then she puts you in this pool, and then you get all the information that everybody's sending around.
Oh, perfect. So then
So
I'll give her my email.
I don't know if Stacy took it offline or not.
Well, it's Stacy also, because of the internet and because we've been nonstop cleaning at her house. So
No,
We
I don't
haven't
know
had-
if she took us off of all YouTube and all that stuff yet, or however she does. If we can have our own private discussion now.
oh, okay. Let's see what is this. All right, all of you people who are on Facebook, I don't know what. Stacy,
You mean Instagram?
I know she's got us on.
You're on Instagram Live. That's how I saw you guys. I came on Zoom, but I first saw you on Instagram.
Stacy, I lost the whole thing. I first saw you on Instagram.
Can still see you and hear you.
There's only
Okay.
one person on Instagram.
It says that we're still live on YouTube. So,
Yeah. Or
but
on
I'm afraid
Facebook.
if I push the wrong button, then I'm going to kill the recording.
Yeah.
And so, Stacy. Oh well. So we may be live on YouTube. So be aware.
Okay.
Talking code until Stacy joins us. Stacy does the technology. I'm along for the ride. As we were cleaning out things, I got my new phone today. You see it?
Nice.
No surveillance, no trickery, just plain old phone.
Got it.
Claudia, you look laid back today. Is
I know.
life going well for you?
I just got home. We celebrated Mother's Day with the family, and I ate way too much. I have a food coma. And I'm just here with my fur babies.
Oh, how
So
pretty.
cute.
This is
That's got a lot of hair.
this is Elvis.
Looks like that grumpy cat.
He
Yeah,
does.
he looks like a grumpy cat, but he's a total lover. He's really big. He's like 13 pounds, and he's still a
He looks big.
kitten. He's not even fully grown
Wow.
yet. But this is
That is
you
beautiful.
know, I never thought I'd become a cat lady, but I've become such like just ridiculous cat lady because of this cat. And
Wow.
yeah, lazy hanging out with my cat.
You'll have anything you want to add or ask for this evening?
I wanted to ask you about okay, so I study the Mayan calendar, and you know, with the Council of Mayan Elders here in El Salvador, and they you know they put things into context in a really great way, and explaining that we're really just at the start of a whole new 26,000 year cycle, and you know, we're the darkest of the dark. It has just, you know, it's like 2012 was the end of this huge cycle, and right now we're like at midnight 01 with 1 second with us with regards to this new day or this new era. And so we're basically like, people like us are awake to all of the agendas, and you know, it's like our job to be and perceive the light and create the new world. And just you know, when I think about that, I'm like, okay, so how do you create the new world? And I think, okay, planting trees, helping parent other people's children, you know, being an effective human being. But I guess it's just sometimes a little bit like what do you see being like the new more evolved world where humans are sovereign? Like, what does that look like to you?
All right, I'm gonna take it back a step and explain it from my perspective because we don't have a language to explain these things. At one point in time, when I first started getting my nails done, I was in Texas, and this woman who was doing my nails was from Vietnam. And I said, "What was it like to be in Vietnam during the war?" And she said, "Well, Heather, it was a lot like your drug war. It's going on, but probably it doesn't affect your life." And it doesn't affect my life, but it's affecting somebody's life. And she says, "That's the way it was with the war. The war was going on in Vietnam, but I wasn't touched by it. It was in another part of the world with other people." And that's what I see this like. Each of us become this little hub of love and light. We attract loving and kind people. We respect and honor the people in our hub. We understand and tolerate their uniqueness and their differences. They don't have to agree with me. I have friends who had the V, who had the jab or whatever they're calling it. You know, that's their right. That's their business. And that each of us create that loving circle, and it just keeps growing and growing. We've heard lots of people talk about the resistance they have to the mask, but what we know in a spiritual sense is that which we resist persists. It's an easy cliche. I don't resist it. So I just go around with a mask. And I haven't worn a mask in I don't know how long, and no one says anything to me. Could it help that I'm looking older and more senile, and they just go, "Oh, silly little lady." But you know, I don't resist it. I don't give it any energy. I just move on. And so my life is totally free. And that's how I see this going, that all of us are creating in our own little world this place of love and respect and peace and joy. And it just keeps going out and out until all these little individual worlds collide. And there's no more room for hate and violence and all those things. I mean, most of the hate and violence is fed. We know that. It's seeded by someone who's going to profit from it. And as we expose that, as we stand against that with love and say, "No, we don't accept the lies that you've been sharing, and we love you for it," then those will no longer have a place to hide. We don't have to, line them up and shoot them. Hitler tried to get rid of all the people he didn't like and didn't agree with, and instead of getting rid of them, he empowered them. And that's what happens. And so that's how I see the transformation happening. It's not that we're going to wake up one day and, birds are going to sing and there's a choir of angels going, "La, la, 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 we've arrived." It's just going to be another day, except it's going to be a little bit more loving, a little bit more kind, a little bit more joyful, a little bit greater freedom. I'm, in the process of looking for property to buy that has, acreage of trees. So I can just be in the trees. I'm craving trees. And so my life, when that is fulfilled, is going to be a whole lot more peaceful, a whole lot more serene. Would you ask Stacy to get on the line real quick, if you will? Thank you. Oh, yeah, wherever she is. And if all of us follow our heart, we'll all go to where we need to be. We'll all do what we need to do. And we'll just trust these little whisperings of the divine. No choir of angels, no lightning bolts from heaven, no, scene drop plays. They'll have one scene drop down and all of a sudden you're in a city or a country or whatever because everything changes. I don't think that's happening at all.
Do you think that like sometimes it's a little bit difficult to not fall into the it's called the wounded wise woman, the one that says, "Why are people waking up? Why can't people see through all these agendas?" That's the wounded wise woman, and sometimes it's difficult to not fall into that.
There's a lot of parts in that. And so it's not just a simple one thing. First of all, nobody's wounded. Nobody's broken. Nobody is sick. No one needs healing. No one needs fixed. We're all perfect living the experiences that we've chosen to experience in order to grow and experience. I mean, we are the divine experiencing life, and we're all doing that in a different way. Nobody is broken, so there's no wounded to be. We're being programmed that we need to be fixed, that we have to be,
Checked.
put together. We have to be healed. And so if you believe that you're hurt, you are. That's the reality. So we don't do that. All right, let me finish now because you gave me 2-3 parts. I got to address the other parts. And then the wounded warrior kind of mindset, that kind of thing. We don't have to do that. It's everything is divinely perfect. None of this is on our shoulders. It's collectively divine plan, and we're just playing our part. And sometimes our part is just to experience and look at and watch, and sometimes we may be an active participant in a certain aspect. That's where we have to follow our heart and do what we're guided to do. I'm being guided to go to the trees. I was being guided to start these little conversations. You may be guided to write a book. You may be guided to call a friend you haven't talked to in ages. I mean, it's not about, one of the most spiritual people I know was a toll booth taker. And it sounds like a very traditional role. She just took money at the toll booth and gave them tokens or whatever she did. And I was told that what she was doing when she was giving money out, she was giving an energy infusion. And when she took their money, it had their energy print. So she was literally always taking a read on humanity for the divine. We wait and we think that we have to be doing some glorious something. And I just don't find it true. We do whatever we do with pure love, pure guidance. And before I knew her, I saw an article about her in the newspaper, and she was called the toll booth angel. And it was all these things that she has done and all the people she'd affected working at the toll booth. And you think, wow. And it wasn't just a little article. It was a full page article about her, this charming, lovely little lady who worked at a toll booth. And so your job can be anything. Just do it with love. But that's the important part. And if you can do it with love, and love isn't the ooshy gushy, hug, shackering, sweet kind of love. One of the sweetest people I know that was so huggy kissy was the person who had the biggest anger issues, and she just covered it all up with what I call saccharine sweetness. And it took her a long time to get to her true anger because she had so many issues that she'd repressed. So it's just about authenticity, incredibly, be real. Because if you're real, you're going to get to your core issues faster. You're going to identify them. And only you can identify them. No one else can. And then be love. Every day, just do a little bit more to be kinder, sweeter, lover, more kind, more patient, more authentic. And then pretty soon, when everybody's doing that, because let's say your ripple goes out and affects 3 other people, and those 3 people go out and affect 3 other people. How long is it going to take to go around the world? Not very long. And so let's say we have 6 people on the call right now, but we may have, let's say 30 on the internet, different YouTubes and Instagrams, and then we have people who'll tune in and watch it later. Let's say each of them influence 3 people, who in turn influence 3 people, who in turn influence 3 people. And that's not a lot. And pretty soon we've shifted the consciousness of the planet, and it's the consciousness that dictates the totality of the planet. And so if we can all be honest, then we'll have honesty in the planet. But when we lie a little, when we deceive a little, when we cheat a little, when we project and blame a little, then we give it permission and life in the bigger realm. So it really depends on us. when we accept liars, it's because usually we tell those little fibs and we excuse it because it's just little white ones. It's not really black ones. It's just little white ones. And then pretty soon we have a world that lies to us and leaders that lie to us. I said, in my book, I wrote about my political experience. We don't have the government we want. We have the government we deserve. This is the government that we have created through our apathy, our alienation, and our cynicism. And until we begin to understand and hold our government accountable, we're going to continue it. All of us, we've seen politicians who should be in jail. Instead of that, we just allow them to continue in their merry position and getting full salary even when they go into jail. But we don't do anything to stop it. We just allow it to go on. And that's why we have the issues going on now. We are being asked to step up and be different so that we create different.
Hello.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi.
We didn't know what to do to stop live on YouTube.
Okay. Well,
But if we get banned, it's really just Stacy that gets banned, not me.
all right, perfect. So are we ending the live now?
Well, are there any questions or comments in there that I need to know about or we need to know about?
Yes.
Anybody want to?
Juan said he's talking about a few dreams. He dreamed he saw the sky turned into tar and icons formed as light sources, which was Einstein, atom, the sun, and then an eye. And then everything was covered in tar too.
Ooh.
Well, I would see that tar is just the density of energy made manifest. If pollution is the manifestation of a very dense energy. And so I would see that tar as that kind of experience.
He said a question regarding politics. So he's in Mexico. So here in Mexico in June, we have an important voting. Our president has been working diligently into a socialistic agenda, and this voting is for the members of Congress. There's the popular idea of not letting people from the president's party win the vote system if it doesn't matter who you vote for as long as it isn't the president's party. I'm not sure if voting is a good idea when all the candidates are not something I feel comfortable voting for.
All right. So again, many, many parts, and I'm going to break it down and talk to the parts. And then if you'll read it again, I'll pick up the other parts but leave. First of all, absolutely vote. Even if you go to the polls and you vote for a cat, or you vote in some states, they actually have none of the above, which I think is brilliant. I think every election should have a none of the above, because then at least you can register a protest a vote. But energetically, when you vote, you are now part of the energetic team of those candidates. So absolutely vote. What I recommend to people, and I did this in my books based on my political experiences, is vote. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It matters that you vote. And so go to the polls, say a prayer, ask for divine guidance, and just feel which one feels right to you. But vote. Even if you know nothing about the candidates, vote. I hope you're getting this clear. Vote, 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 vote. Second of all, again, my preference is vote for the person who has the least experience. It takes a while to learn how to corrupt a system. And so if you vote for the person who has the least experience, they at least have to spend time learning how to cheat and manipulate. And if every time we vote for the new people, then literally we'll change that process as well. Claudia, I love you. It's very distracting to watch you sleep. As a professor for all those years, it's like I want to go, wake up, wake up. So if you won't mind, just mute your camera, and that way you can listen, or not, I don't think you mute cameras, you turn them off or something or other. That way, if you fall asleep, it's okay. It's what your body's wanting to do, but I'm not drawn to watching you sleep, okay?
I think it's I'm dozing off, but I feel like it's, you know, when that happens to you where you're like listening and you're like intently listening and something about the what you're hearing is so deep that it makes you nod off.
You
'Cause I was
actually will
like,
take it in at a different level. You won't have
that's
the mental
because I was
resistances.
intently listening to you like just a second ago, but I was dozing off just now, but I think it's because it's not, I'm not sleepy though. You know what I mean?
Well, you look like you're sleepy, so it's okay if you do. I just
Yeah,
want to
I'll
cover my eyes so I'm not looking at you. But okay.
I
Or
don't want
get
you
one of those masks with the eyes that are open. You know how
I
they
don't
have
think
the eyes that are.
that I'm not listening. It's just that it is, I think you're talking really deep stuff right now, and it's like, you know, I'm having that experience that like it goes
Well,
super.
we'll just trust that then.
Okay.
But to go back to the voting, when I don't know about Mexico, so I can't speak to Mexico, but I can speak to the United States. If you always vote Republican, you're considered a hard R. If you sometimes vote Republican, you're then a soft R. If you sometimes vote Democrat, you're a soft D. And if you vote Democrat, no matter what, they call it, I forget the term they use, but anyway, that even if the Democrats run an old dog, you're gonna vote for the Democrat. That's the hard-nosed Democrat. In between there's independents, and independents will sometimes, and in primaries, you have to declare whether you're a Democrat or a Republican because that's the ballot you get. But when you go to general election, you can vote any way you want. So even if you say you're a Democrat, you can vote whatever, and they track that. So on the political printout from your voting polls, it'll have a hard D or soft D or hard I for independents, or hard D, soft D. And so you'll be one of those categories. And this was as of 10, 15 years ago. It could change today, but this is how it was then. And so if you are always Democrat or always Republican, they say they're not important. I went to one campaign training, and they literally said, everybody's not important. First of all, half the people are going to be either hard Ds or hard Rs. If you're Republican, you got their vote. If you're not Republican, you can't get their vote. So forget them, they're not important. The same thing for the Democrats. And then the other parts are what they call the soft Ds, soft Rs. Those are the people that are important, because you can persuade them to vote for you or against your opponent or however you want to do. They're the movable ones. And so what happens when they call people to say, what do you think about this issue? Or, you know, they do those polls. How do you feel about this candidate or whatever? They don't call the hard Ds. They don't call the hard Rs. They call the soft Ds, the soft Rs, or the independents to see where they are. So actually, the power is in these people who are non-predictable voters. The politicians will try and court you. They'll try and win your vote because you're the ones that determine the outcome. The hard Ds, hard Rs are not the ones that determine the outcome. And so being an erratic voter, vote by your heart, not by your party line, whatever country you're in, is exceedingly important. But without a doubt, vote. If you don't vote, you energetically, spiritually have no say in the process. And if you look at the trends of voting has changed over the years so that many more women, in fact, women in the, I might get this a little wrong, but like in the 30 to 45 age bracket are the ones determining outcomes now, because they're the largest group of new voters going to the polls and voting, and no one knows exactly how they're going to vote. So that's why you see so many more women's issues on the forefront. And they're now beginning. It used to be they didn't even care about anybody under 35 because they didn't vote. And now they're seeing a lot more college kids, a lot more young voters going to the polls and voting. So we're seeing a lot more issues that supposedly they think are important becoming talked about. But you can tell who they're trying to win over, because those are the people who determine the outcome of an election. And if you vote, then you have the right to call them on the carpet. You have the right to energetically infuse your light and love into them. Fill their office with light and love. Fill their campaign with them. Ask them questions. Hold them accountable. Those are your rights. If you voted. If you didn't vote, they don't care. You're not important. And it's a very small number of people who actually vote. So it used to be. It's gotten a little bit better more recently, but when I was involved, half the people didn't register to vote. So automatically, say 100 people, 50 didn't register to vote, so they weren't important. Of the 50 that did register, half of them didn't go to the polls to vote. So now we're down to 25 people. Of those who went to the polls, a fourth of them, or whatever, were the hard Ds, a fourth were the soft Ds, and then a fourth were the soft Rs and the soft Ds. So you can see the numbers of significant voters are very small, very small. Hold on. You gonna let the dog out? I can't open the door. They've been shut up in the room all day because of the garage sale, so she's letting them out now. I don't know if our little friend found that helpful, but I do hope it's important. And voting is important. It really is. And you know, you may not like any of the candidates, but vote anyway. Vote for somebody. And in this election, I also work the polls because I think it's important. So I worked the polls, and I just kept the polling places filled with light and love, and you know, everybody was cheerful, and we talked and stuff. And people coming in, you can't talk candidates or people, but the process. If you energetically put yourself in the middle of it, you can energetically change the energy, which is the goals, which is the purpose. This is how we change the planet.
By the way, in Mexico, there was 3 parties. Now he says this year there's 11 parties.
There's 11 parties. Well, that actually can work for their favor. You can tell it again when you're on camera. So.
Okay. So I would see, what Ellen. Hello. He said, thank you. And then he said, before the recent years, there was 3 parties. Now there's 11 parties, which is a mix of all. He just laughing face.
Well, again, energetically choose the one that he thinks has the most integrity. It isn't always what they say. Feel their energy. The energy never lies. And then go out working for them. Literally, the more you are working for the candidate of your choice, the more likely the candidate of your choice will listen to you when you have issues. And right now, one of the issues that I think everybody should be talking about on Facebook and politics is the fact that Bill Gates is the largest farmland owner in the United States. Why the hell do we let anyone dominate our farmland? And so I think states, huh?
Joke, because I said bless their heart.
Yeah, bless their heart. It's a Southern thing. So I think that states should, just like we are now mandating certain kind of election integrity, that we should also mandate a cap on how much farmland that any one person could own. You know, one person that dominates our agricultural space can literally control this planet.
And I also heard about, be talking about him and the divorce, that there's some new legislation that they're trying to get around, apparently, that they're pushing to hold it. And that's why you see Bezos, that's why you see Gates going through these big divorces. It's about keeping money in there.
Oh, yeah, but I'm sure it's another way of hiding assets.
That's interesting. Definitely like,
But
oh,
love and light them. The light shines in those corners and the darkness can't hide. It just slips out.
yes. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Anything else online that you need to read or share before we?
Said thank you. There was a kind of mafioso was cracking me up because he was expecting a hard D joke there. Anyways, I thought it was hilarious. I laughed a lot. So yeah. But you just thank you. I heard that. Thank you. Say so thank you times.
My pleasure.
And love
Um, Anybody else have any questions or issues or anything they want to share?
well, why don't we go private now? If we're
Okay.
gonna talk about other stuff, let's
Okay.
and
Okay.
if you want to get in the private conversation, feel free. And that's where we can talk openly about everything. And yes, I will agree with your
Wait.
comments.
We
Mr.
think we can work openly. There's nothing openly. Everything is being scanned and watched and monitored.
Well, we do our best to keep our freedoms while we still have it. So I just want to say
Come down to my trees.
Yes. Thank you everyone for joining. I've been in and out, and it's nice to be able to join you because it does feel good. Oh, yay. Okay, good. And you have the Zoom. Take a screenshot so you have the Zoom number. Juan's going to join us on Zoom.
Yay!
So much love and light to you, brother, and Kevin, and all of our other friends that come in and out. I love it. It's nice. So blessed. Thank you again. We meet every Sunday, and Thursdays are Cosmic Conversations. Feel free to join in as well on that. And we're live on YouTube and Instagram. So with that, being blessed. Have a great day.